Do our best.
Okay, the date is August 20th, 2012. I'm here with Mr. Bob Shields. My name is George Huffman. Bob, thank you for taking the time to tell us your story.
Thank you for asking me.
So, how did you come to be in the service of the country during the Second World War?
Well, I was in college at Fordham University, and I had signed up for a program known as the V7 program, and that was like you stay in college, and at the end of college you go to midshipman school.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was doing. So this was probably around when I signed up was probably around. Let's see, what's this? 1941 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I didn't have any real connection with the Navy after I signed up on this V7 program until I graduated from college. And I graduated from college in, I guess it was January of 1943.
Okay.
Ordinarily it'd be June, but during the war they moved it forward 6 months. And then I immediately went, and I mean immediately, a week or so later, I went from my home in the Bronx to Columbia University, where they had the midshipman school at that time, or my class anyway. And I stayed there for I guess it's three months plus 3 months to become, in order to become a 30-day wonder. That's what they used to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good course. They kept us very busy. One thing that might be of some interest, before when I signed up for the V7 course, I didn't have the necessary math courses in my college.
Mm-hmm.
And my father, who happened to be a math professor at Fordham, offered to give a class to the few fellows like myself who needed that in order in order to go ahead.
Yes.
So they put a notice on the bulletin board that he was going to teach a course in spherical trigonometry, which is really, that's what navigation was back in those days.
Okay.
And so, lo and behold, so many people wanted to go to his course that they had to use the General Assembly room. And there were a couple of hundred kids there, including the ones like myself that needed that math requirement. So that was my beloved father who did that for me. And I got a 98, and I didn't cheat, and I didn't look at...
Okay.
But I'm not that mathematical, but I had to be sure I did that for my father. Anyway, then so I went to Columbia as soon as I graduated in January of 1943.
Yes.
And it was a combination of people from my college and other colleges. We all gathered around and we went through this course. It was a pretty good course we had.
It's what they would call an ROTC course, right?
Well,
No.
it's after a graduate ROTC course, if you want. Just like we had ROTC people at Fordham for the Army, and they graduated at the same time I did, and they also did that. And then they came out as second lieutenants, and we came out as ensigns.
Okay.
It was that was in the winter. Time went very quickly, and before I knew it, I was a fresh new ensign, and got an immediate assignment to go to Indiana. I think it was to pick up an LST, landing ship tank, is
Mm-hmm.
which is a fairly.
Now, was this your picture on graduation?
That was my graduation picture.
Okay, let's see
Yes.
if we can. Okay.
As you can see, I haven't changed a bit.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I went to
So we're in Indiana.
picking up an LST,
Okay.
and it had just been finished. They were turning them out. A pretty big ship, about the length of a destroyer, was 327 feet long, as a matter of
Mhm.
fact, and 34 feet across.
Wow.
And we had a crew of maybe 7 officers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many in the crew. We had a pretty good crew because at LST we had a 5-inch rifle in the stern and a couple of 50 caliber nests
Mm-hmm.
along the starboard and port sides. And we also had an LST put on top of an LCT put on the top of the.
Okay.
Now that was a pretty big thing. It would seem to me that our ship would have toppled over from the weight of it, but it never did.
Now, what was an LCT?
An LCT was a landing craft tank. It was an open, almost looked like a barge,
Okay.
but it was quite large, and it held a couple of tanks, other heavy things like
Okay.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So now, when you say you were picking this up,
Well,
were
they-
they going to staff it and then?
they put it right on top of the ship.
Okay.
So, as a matter of fact, just to go away from the time thing, we finally got to, I don't know, it was either San Diego or Pearl Harbor, and they took it off the top.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So all the way from Indiana to San Diego, you were towing this other ship.
yes, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm making it too long, I think.
No,
But,
you're fine. We're fine.
Anyway, before I went to pick up the ship, I forgot, I went down to Norfolk, Virginia to amphibious training school.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And there they had training LSTs and lots of other things. So it was a little while after that.
Okay.
That didn't
Mhm.
last too long. We were sent up to Evansville, Indiana. And we got LST number 122.
Okay.
And that was my ship. And we took it down the Ohio and the Mississippi River, and with a supervising crew, because none of us knew anything at all
Mhm,
at
mhm.
that time. And we gradually learned. I became what they call a first lieutenant. That's the deck officer. So
Okay.
I was in charge of deck duties, including the operation of all the amphibious landing material on the ship, such as the open bow doors. I don't know if I wish I had a picture of an LST here, but I'm sure you have a lot of them.
Yes.
And then the deck crew, and
It was basically like you said, like it had a big compartment in the front where you put all the stuff, all the
well, no,
tanks.
the whole thing, all the living quarters and everything else were in the rear.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the ship was a tremendous garage, if you want to call it,
Mhm.
down below the main deck of the ship.
Mhm.
And at the end of this large garage were these very large bow doors,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, they open like that.
they open like
Okay. Like a door, like a church
like
door.
2 doors.
Mhm.
Yeah, like that's right, like a church door.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that Oh, and also, on my ship, there was a huge anchor on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose for this whole thing, just to cut the whole thing short, was that an LST we usually had maybe first wave ships or the equivalent,
Mm-hmm.
and tanks, light tanks, stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
for the early part of an assault landing. Then we would all go and land at an assault.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were doing that, this is in the old days when you had battleships were shooting from behind us over our heads,
Mm-hmm.
and there were Japanese troops on the beach itself. But
Okay, let's go back to the Mississippi. We're going down the You picked up the
All right.
boat. We're going down the Mississippi. Where are
Yeah.
we headed?
we got to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went out training our LST for I think 2 weeks. And
Okay.
then the training crew left. And here we were in charge of the whole thing when nobody knew very much what you were supposed to do, but in a way we did.
Mm-hmm.
And our captain was a man made a,
Well, you were a 30-day wonder, so.
I was a 30-day one. The captain was from Chicago, and he was a part owner of a large department store like Macy's
Mm-hmm.
in Chicago. And the communications officer was he was a master brewer for a large beer making place on the West Coast. And the rest of us were just ordinary guys.
Right.
And anyway, when we finished our training, and we did a little practice landing, assault landing, then we went down around the Panama Canal, through the Panama Canal,
Okay.
and up to San Diego, I would say, or somewhere on that coast, because we did some practice for a specific assignment. This time was for an amphibious assault on Eniwetok Island.
Okay.
And we were taking Marines and some of their equipment, a couple of light tanks, I think. And we did a practice landing with the Marines, full scale, and then off we went. And I think we went direct so many years.
That's
I
okay.
think we went direct to Eniwetok, and there was a large Japanese force there because it had a beautiful natural harbor. But I guess they knew we were coming, and there were no Japanese ships hanging around. We were there for a little while, and then I got the job because my skipper was told to provide somebody to be the what do you call it? The pilot.
Okay.
And I was supposed to know the ins and outs of the approaching area before you get into this beautiful lagoon harbor in Eniwetok. And I was supposed to guide the ships in, so I think it was
Navigator type of a thing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you go up on the bridge and you introduce yourself to the commanding officer, or the captain of the ship. The first one was a heavy cruiser. So I introduced myself to the commanding officer of the heavy cruiser, told him I was going to be his pilot. And he says, "That's very nice, young man. Now you sit over there and be quiet." Which I thought was pretty smart on his part. So then, this is afterwards. I get after the invasion was over. I think it went pretty well. there's some pretty heavy fighting in the very beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and it was mopped up, and then we hung around to do that.
So during the first invasion you participated in,
Yeah.
did you approach the beach at all during the invasion?
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, we were part of one of the early assault forces. We hit the beach, and it was the Marine Special Forces for this, and they went on and they took their tanks with them, and we didn't have to shoot our guns or anything like that. All we had to do was get that stuff
Mm-hmm.
to the beach and then get the hell out of there, by winding up this huge rear anchor. And so you pull yourself off the beach backward.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, depending on how long you're there or what the tide situation was, you have a lot of trouble getting off the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were open to Japanese artillery if they wanted to shoot at us.
Mm-hmm.
And but they did a little bit, but they didn't hit us. And that was a typical assault landing. I describe each one of them about the same way I just described that.
Mm-hmm.
And we also had
So you basically went almost right up on the beach because...
we were on the beach,
Oh, okay.
and the Marines would run out the doors onto the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And digging holes and moving forth off the beach into the inland part of the island. It was not a very large island,
Mm-hmm.
and so we managed to pull ourselves off
And breathe a sigh of relief and
and
go.
get out of the way. In
Mhm.
effect, and the things that were happening then were a lot of naval craft from destroyers on up who were supplying artillery fire or whatever you call it
Mm-hmm.
to the troops that had just gone ashore.